Welcome, teenies new and old, to Wits and Crits, a roundtable Q&I. Every time Logan's on, I higgity heckin' up the intro, but it's a roundtable Q&A stuff. Honestly, yeah. It's a Q&A style podcast, hosted by me, your dice goblin and resident vanilla guard boy loving ship gremlin, Hayden Davio, who doesn't know how to words very good. I'm the player for Aviana Kolash, Regan Aylox, and Fionnuala Ione. For those of you who are finding us for the first time, hi, hello. We are Nat 19. We're a group of actors, performers, and improvisers who have come together through our love of storytelling and mutual nerdery. Today on the show, I have two of the people who make me the most nervous in the whole world. I have Cody Hughett.
Hello?
And Logan Laidlaw.
Hey,
introduce yourselves.
How do I make you nervous? Hi, hello. I am Cody Hughett. I play All for Horse. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Logan. All right, move on. Logan, I'm Logan. I'm the creative director here. What we're doing. I'm the GM of most of the things that we do, and I'm the one that gives most of the art, and I make the books, and I make the wheels go spin, and I also make the words on this one fail, apparently. Is me!
It's our
And it's a rainy day!
Is it rainy? You lucky bastard.
I don't know if it's raining, but it like feels like it's raining.
It was like misty. It was like misty outside.
Also, it's my mom's partner of fucking a million years back in PEI texted me today being like, "Hey, I heard there's a hurricane coming for you." And I was like, "Oh, really? That's a wrap on me."
Like, rip.
So apparently there's a hurricane on its way. It's not here yet though.
It's on its way. Honey, there's a big storm coming.
Oh.
And so there are also questions coming for you.
Oh.
So, how this show works is I have a dice here. I have a singular D4. And I'm gonna roll it to determine who I will be asking a question to. And then I'll roll it again to determine which question I will be asking. So, I'm just...
I'll be honest. I've been telling people ever since we've been doing like the cool kids resurgences and things of that nature. Like, I don't know what you guys can ask me. I've barely done anything since the last Wits and Crits.
I'm gonna loudly be on my phone while you do this.
Oh.
Why? Why? Questions for you. Logan.
Well, they have to make you nervous.
Logan. Logan, I got a question for you. Whenever you're done on your phone.
Yeah. No, I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, one sec. Yeah, Hayden?
I got a question for you.
I'll call you back. All right.
You know, we didn't have to do this episode today.
All right. What?
What's up?
We could have postponed. So, question for you. Did you always plan to expand on Gilligan's Pit since it was mentioned at the beginning of Vestige, or was it just something that you came up with along the way?
Well, I intended to expand on it in hindsight. Like, I intended that eventually it would probably end up being a place the players would take more interest in, because originally the campaign, the whole story was going to be a lot more immediately amnesis focused, and it was going to be a place that I was going to mention repeatedly until people eventually were like, "Hey, we should probably check that place out. Also, it's connected to 5 people we know, and we should because it's got amnesis. I wonder what's going on there. And then there's some stuff there, and who knows what the stuff that's there is or not there is, or go somewhere. I guess is what I'm go there someday is what I'm saying.
And then we went to the Crystal Queen.
eventually, it was going to be a go there and see the aftermath and leave everything implied. I never had any plans to go back and run it as a little campaign, but whenever we were setting up to do the interim games and I wanted to tell other stories in the setting, I was like, this seems like a really a good one to do that could be really fun, to actually go back and like discover explicitly what happens surrounding Gilligan's Pit in its, maybe final days, who knows. Yeah, so I guess I never really intended to go back directly. I just intended for the people to go there and be like, oh, this was once a really cool place. And the town was basically going to be just like a dungeon of sorts. But no more. Now look at it. Look at all the people. There's the silly goblin. There's the river. There's the families of capybara people who conceptually didn't exist at the time. So I'm really glad that we waited. Fucking, there's the Leunas in there somewhere. Heckin', there's some bunnies. And they're not there anymore.
Oh.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure everyone's safe.
I'm sure it's fine and everybody's safe.
Yep.
They all got whisked away by a magical fireman.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hell yeah. That's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, right? Yeah.
Honestly.
Just carry me out. Beautiful Somnus Domina fireman. Let's
a fireman, just Amniosis erupts in the pits, and a fireman, like a modern day looking fireman, shows up, and he's just like, everybody, quick, get to the exit, and just runs to the side of the caves, and there's a red emergency exit fire door just in the side of a cave, and he just opens it, and everyone runs in, closes it, done. Who knows where they went? They're good now.
I want a red like dragonborn fireman. I think
yeah, because he could take the fire, he could go in it.
Yeah.
Could save people from the fire.
Next new character.
Next new.
I was gonna say, I'm like, who is the heckin' red dragonborn that was there at like the beginning of Vestige, and then he showed up during the cult-ish when I first came around with the. Oh, what's his fucking name? Oh, he's part of the Iron Watch.
Oh,
oh my god.
I don't remember his name.
Fuck. Brooke Weiriel.
Yes!
Yeah, he's the fireman. Or his brother.
Was he red?
Who I'll play.
I don't remember.
I know this is bad. I would have to check my notes. We haven't talked about him in like 4 years.
Dude, I just thought about him. Yeah, I don't.
He was in the Glass Crown and also was a Yeah.
You said Dragonborn, my brain's like, wait. We have one of those.
Now he'd be a dragonkin.
Dragonkin.
And second, push those up. Now he'd be a dragonkin.
Is it just red dragonkin or is it just dragonkin?
Well, he's a dragonkin that is red.
Okay. You can put your glasses back down now. You sound like
the latest one I had to do like that. Sometimes I have to do that because people explicitly ask me questions. And the latest one that I had to do kind of irritated even me, but I did have to do it.
No.
Well, I guess I didn't.
Oh, no.
Someone was like, "Oh shoot, fucking Desmond is like the first person in Century to use Idomancy," because he was like his spells were being affected by idolic energy, and I had to be like, okay, putting on my obnoxious.
Right.
Much like how wielding a magic sword is not casting magic, being affected by idolic energy is not idomancy. I'm sorry that I had to come in here when you were all excited and say this, but anyways, continue being excited. Goodbye. Fucking.
Yeah, I get that vibe though. You're like, I'm sorry, but no.
I don't mean to step on your fun, but also I am the arbiter of these things, and I want to keep them straight. Idomancy is the magic.
Of fun.
Idomancy is the magic that uses idolic radiation. Idolic radiation is the energy.
Yeah, no.
Brooke Weiriel.
No, Gilligan's it doesn't.
Anyways, if you don't mind, I have to call someone back.
Cool. Well, I have a question for both of you.
All right.
Sit your booty down, boy.
All right.
Really confident in the last like 5 minutes.
So I got a question for you, and I think I know the answer because I know how I would answer it. Do you think the Prince's Party will ever try and save that lady who was transported by the deck? Maybe help that farmer who got hit with the flame card?
No.
I don't.
Look,
I forgot about them.
She used the card. She knew what she was doing. I tried to warn her. Whatever happens, happens.
Just seems like a lot right now.
I feel like before the alignment shift, I might have cared a little, but I still don't think I would have done anything about it.
Nah, I especially think with our current focus, I don't think that we're. I genuinely, I sort of a little bit forgot that anything happened to her. She's sort of just in the past.
I think that me as a player is like, oh, that's interesting. I'd love to know more about like what went down. Maybe something happened, maybe something didn't, yada yada. But then like me playing Casper right now, if Casper even ever thought of it or someone brought it up to me, like, no, they got what they deserved. They didn't listen to me. They took my thing.
This is why you have parties. Her party will go get her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she has one.
Yeah. Just find the stream out there that's her party, because that's how it works, because we're all playing in one big unified world, and everybody's games are just one different entry point to the world. And then you can follow them. They'll get her. To my understanding, that's how G&D works, so she'll be fine.
Yeah.
She'll get better, maybe.
That's how the random games you're supposed to like go into cons or like your card shops or whatever and just step into. It's like, oh yeah, we're in the
Adventure
same world.
League.
Yeah.
Everyone's definitely in the same world. Definitely, 100%. Here's my Vorpal sword.
Yeah, no, Regan ain't like to. I guess it's Princess Party. Yeah, Regan ain't thinking about that. Their friends dying of god poison. So
there's a lot of immediate
we have our
things
priorities.
Happening. We don't have time to think about them.
Honestly?
We barely have time to think about the cults at this point.
For real. It's like, I don't know, man. There's just a lot going on.
Look, the world can end, but we have to save Krusk.
So, I disagree to a point, but yes.
Look, if we have time to save the world after, we'll do it.
You
But
know,
we have to save Krusk now.
yeah?
One of these days, Regan's head's gonna explode, I swear.
I love being this odd, selfish sort of evil. It's great.
It's really fun. Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful. But yeah, I think the answer is just nah.
Nah, not really,
No,
unfortunately.
not really.
They left my mind the game after they showed up.
A little bit. Oh my god, sorry. Oh my god, why am I...
I feel bad about the farm that got put on fire, but as soon as we left, fires burned fast.
Yep.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, I think
If we didn't immediately go,
The farm's
we're not
been on
fixing
fire
that.
for 3 weeks.
Oh, shoot, really?
Won't somebody help? It's getting out of hand.
I'm sure you got it. I think you'll be fine. I gotta go deal with my girlfriend's ex-god. It's a whole thing.
The princes / Waterdeep like campaigns have really shown a sort of level of like party where they're just like, we really care about each other, kind of fuck everything else.
it's like we got a lot going on just here.
Someone else will handle it.
Kinda, yeah. It's like the A team will come in and handle this. We are the B team in a lot of ways. Or it's like, or are we the A team and the B team's gonna go handle this fucking fire because we don't have time?
Pretty sure we're like the D team.
Yeah, I can't find a way out of that.
Oh, I'm asking another question. Yeah.
Hey, Cody, I'm gonna clank you for you.
There's oh my gosh.
This question just for you.
Oh my
Holy
god.
crap. There's no
I know.
way.
Yeah, wait.
Let's see if it's the
Yeah.
one question I think someone can ask. Let's go.
I'm so curious what you think the question is.
There was only
'Cause it
one
got-
question that was repeated over and over whenever I was talking to people during streams. It's like, guys, what would you even ask me at this point? So we'll see if that's the question.
Okay. I'm very curious what that is and if it even made it
I'll let you
in.
know at the end.
Cool.
If it doesn't get said.
I got a question for old Quinny boy.
Mm-hmm.
For Quinifer. Since the highest standard is headed to Grey Rock, how is Quintus feeling about the fact that he will likely meet his best friend Miriam's family?
I'm his best friend Miriam's family.
I'm his Miriam's friend, best family.
I'm gonna be perfectly. This is gonna sound like such a cop out, and I love Quinn to death. Quinn is not thinking about it.
What a dick!
He wants Miriam to be happy. He is not thinking at all about hardly anything to do with Miriam's family. He's gonna introduce himself to them. He's gonna be like, "Hi, I'm Quinn. I get this guy into trouble." But like the main thing that he's gonna probably be like all about there is making sure that he doesn't fuck it up, because the last time he went off with somebody to deal with anything that was personal for them was the Vogan thing, and he's like, I fucked it up. I almost fucked it up. So like right now he's just like, I cannot do that to Kitty. I cannot fuck up. I have to stay out of whatever this is happening. I'm gonna help everyone. I'm gonna be happy little not Quinn. There I am. Like he is literally not checked out. That's a bad way to say it, but he does not want to make any decisions in Grey Rock. He's like, I am not Quintus. I'm Sir Quinn. I'm here to listen to all of you. I'm not scared of making decisions and possibly hurting everyone around me. What are you talking about? I'm not worried that I still have that I'm not worried that the DM lied to me saying that a thing got inside of me and is definitely not controlling my every action. No. But no, the main thing with me as Quinn for Grey Rock especially is he remembers what he did. He remembered how he almost fucked things over for Vogan. He would never be able to forgive himself if that happened with Miriam. So he really just wants to be as low profile as possible in Grey Rock.
That's super fair. Just when you were doing your like, I'm Sir Quinn, I'm not gonna fuck anything up. Is that
he's
outside
gonna.
of well, yeah. I love him, but he's also Quinn. Again, say so lovingly, but you know, Clint's a loudmouth boy. I love him. Did I say Clint? I don't fucking know. Anyway.
Clint. Clintus. Clintus Westwood.
Don't use my birth name.
Damn, all right.
Clint, you're alive. Oh, Dad, not that. No. His name's just Clint. Clint Valor.
Fucking Clintus Westwood. Just a fucking cowboy version of Clint. It's just being like,
now I want to do that.
Sun's rising.
In Grey
Sun's
Rock,
gonna
there's
go
just
down,
Cowboy
too.
Quinn. Sun's rising. Sun's gonna go down some too.
Every time you fucking cut back to, like, away from him, back to him, he's got, like, an additional fucking, like, bit of wheat. Like, you know how cowboys chew on, like, stalks of, like, wheat or whatever the fuck? An additional one sticking out of their mouth.
I want him to add a spur somewhere on his outfit every single time they go back to him.
That's so
an additional hat. His hat gets taller every time. Every time you cut away and back to him, he gets a lot more complicated in many ways.
There's an additional piece of wheat in his mouth.
An additional wheat, an additional spur, and his hat gets taller every time.
Cody, I need something from you.
Yeah.
Can you give me a Clintus Valor built It's High Noon?
All right, let's see here. It's high noon.
Hell yeah, thank you. I just needed that.
It's high morning.
It's high moon.
It's just like, sun's getting real high.
Just all of it. It's just Quintus versions of all of his things. Fucking,
Yeah.
instead of fucking sun's getting real high in the sky, it's fucking sun's getting real level with the horizon.
Oh,
He-yaw, motherfucker.
I know that, like, it went into the Clintus thing, and you were about to say something. I don't remember if you remember.
No,
Oh, right,
I do
the
remember
show.
what I was going to,
Okay.
because I fucked up saying his name, and then we started riffing, which I'm fine with. I was going to say, with Quinn going as, like, Sir Quinn and not wanting to use his name name anymore when we're traveling around. Yeah, at least in Grey Rock. You mentioned like he doesn't want to fuck anything up. Does he feel like maybe part of like using like not his family name and things like that and trying to change his outward appearance is part of that fear of fucking things up again? Is there like a lot of fear like sitting in him?
I think everything I have planned for how I'm going to be playing Quinn is directly because of what happened with Vogan and directly with what happened with Diane. Like, Quinn is at this point where he's like, I fucked things up so bad that I almost kind of like ended the world with the Diane stuff going on. He's like, I fucked things up so bad and I didn't even know I did it. I have to change everything. Quinn is at this point, and I mentioned this to you before, where he is blaming himself for so many things. He is rightfully so, because they're all his fault. He is basically at a position where he is wanting to like make up for so much, but he knows if he tries, he's just gonna make it worse. So Quinn is at a point where he should really be talking to his friends about what's going through his head. He's not gonna, but he should really be like, it's like, Quinn, you can still be you. Just, you know, be more careful. It's like, no, Quintus is dead. You don't understand.
I killed him. You don't understand.
The only time Quintus will come back is if we go to the land away. Other than that, I'm Sir Quinn all the way. Just gonna keep my head to the ground and flirt with my girlfriend. And never make another decision anytime in my life.
That's reasonable.
He's so dumb.
I'm sure that'll go well for him.
Oh, he's so dumb, and it's not gonna work. Like, I know Quinn. As soon as anything happens, he's gonna be like, okay, we need to do this. We need to do this. But like, I'm gonna have him try.
I'm so excited.
That's such a fun question. I didn't expect that kind of question. That was so fun.
Yeah, no, that was just honestly just me jumping off of what you said, because there's so much more like going on for Quinn after like the end of campaign 1. So I'm just like, I'm so curious. Like, I'm really curious just in general how people are gonna play their characters like in the aftermath of like everything that we went through like throughout the first campaign. But especially like near the end, like with the Cauldron, with the Sword of Damocles, Diane, and then Velis right at the end. Like, there's so much that the entire party went through, and there's a lot of changes to come. So I know where Avi was sitting post-campaign, so I'm very curious where everyone else is. And I think you and I have probably talked the most about like character stuff, just like how our boys are feeling. But I'm very curious.
I think everyone's gonna be so different whenever we come back. I think that the one that's gonna be maybe the least changed will probably be Lexi. But really, my favorite thing that's going to come from this is just seeing how this new sort of vulnerable, or this new sort of kind of strange group is going to not only interact with each other again, but then you're going to throw Raleigh back in.
That's a big one. That is throwing just...
You took our mechanical heart away from us, and now you're trying to fill that with Raleigh?
You're filling it with watered down potions? What do you mean? Oh, I promise I will answer another question, but I've said this to Maddie so many times. But I'm like, I can't wait to meet Raleigh as Avi. I'm so excited because I have no idea with how that will go. And I'm like, I cannot wait to react to whatever the F happens.
I cannot wait. I love Raleigh to death.
I'm gonna miss to finally
Flux.
interact with him. I'm
gonna miss Flux so much, but I love Raleigh to death.
I'm gonna miss Flux. I was thinking about him the other day because we were at Disney World, and I was seeing like the Iron Man like little like core, like his little reactor. I wanted to buy it, and I just thought, I looked at it, I thought of Flux, and I'm like, maybe.
I can't believe next Halloween game is gonna be Flux dressed as Raleigh.
I need him to have a really jank wig.
Or it's just Flux wearing Raleigh, which is frightening.
That's terrifying. That's what the
just
F,
like
man?
A piece of skin on the head stapled
down. No!
To the hair.
No, that's horrible. But also, you could have like a
Michael onto his side.
God, Michael from heckin' Halloween, just that really bad, like Michael Myers like mask of Raleigh. Okay, I'm gonna ask another question, otherwise we'll just rip into oblivion, I swear. Oh, I put Cody and I in a room together, I knew how this would go. Okay, got a question for you, Logan. Okay. Ooh, I was really hoping I'd get a chance to ask this today. So, how many visions that the Silver Esper gave the highest standard have come true so far? Like, how many of the visions have come true so far?
How many of them have come true?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, they were like potential futures. They weren't like definitive futures. The actual circumstances for a bunch of them haven't actually been able to be totally fleshed out yet. There was part of Vogan's that people probably don't realize already came true and passed. Let's see. I'm trying to remember all of them.
I can't even remember.
It was so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Lexi's 100% did not happen. Raleigh's hasn't happened. Vogan's is partially happened. Mariam's, I don't believe his is fully happened. I think most of them are still pretty up in the air. And whether or not we get to address them entirely depends on what the players decide to do eventually. They were like major story hooks I had planned at the time. Some things changed and got moved around.
Yeah, that's fair.
Some world-altering things have happened.
You know, the cosmology shifted, some plans changed, some major things got done beforehand. The Sword of Damocles, which was originally going to be part of like my end game for like all of Vestige, you know, happened in what I consider to be the first third of Vestige. So, you know, these things happen. But that's the thing, right? When the Esper gave those readings, the Esper gave them in the sense of being like, you guys are unmoored from fate. Your fates are not set in stone, unlike most people. That makes you people who can change the world, i.e. you are, I mean, meta-narratively, i.e. you guys are player characters. So, like, I told those back in the day, being kind of heavy-handed, but while trying to be like, fucking, they can try to tell your future, but they've also surrounded it with comments about how your future is not set in stone.
Oh,
so,
that's how I've always sort of felt it. Like, whenever they said that, and it's just like, you're not set in stone, here are some things maybe to watch out for?
Yeah.
But, you know.
Here's some things that your current path could lead you toward. And a lot of those things are things that are following the party, but they've all shifted a little bit. Did you know?
No.
There was a point. But it stopped before we began. Like, before Vestige even began, I had abandoned this plot thread. But did you know that the campaign, way back when I was trying to make it really Forgotten Realms, you know, compliant and whatnot to make sure that it felt like a D&D game, it was going to be about Tiamat and the Talons of Azurul. They were going to be the recurring villains that were going to kind of drive the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Bit of a non sequitur.
Sense.
But like they were going to be one of like the main things. That's why the campaign sort of started with the accidental unleashing of them to tie them to the party. And then fucking before I even started running the campaign, I was like, no. Everyone and their mom has a Tiamat campaign, and I don't want the setting to be explicitly about a Forgotten Realms thing.
I can't believe you stole our Psycho Rangers.
Right? also, I think it's more interesting for me to sit back and be like, yeah, the other 3 Talons are out there doing stuff. Who knows? Maybe they'll pop up. Maybe you've met them. Maybe you've met 1 or 2 of them and you just don't know.
They're forever in the back of my mind. I need you to know that.
Maybe one's in space.
You know what? Maybe. Dude, I was having my morning coffee with my cats the other day, because yes, that is a thing I do. I was having my morning coffee, just hanging out with Liru, and I was like, wonder where the blue Talon is. Honestly, yeah, I was like, I don't know why the blue Talon's in my head right now.
Cut to your face.
What they're up to.
Cut to your cat. Cut to your face. Cut to your cat. Cut to your face. Tiamat.
You know what? It's the blue Talon is the Liru cat in game that Aviana adopted.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why they're such a fucking menace. Not because they're a feral cat that she adopted.
It's jerky.
Fucking god damn it. All of our enemies are like right under our nose and we keep being like, oh yeah, buddy, come on in here. It's good. It's fine.
What you mean our enemies? Just because they're a Talon doesn't mean nothing.
True.
We have the lady.
We have Cassandra.
Yeah.
What up, girl?
I would never do anything to them. I would definitely never send demons after them just to get out of hell.
They'll be fine. Dude, they will be fine. Did they?
No, Quinn, that's what Quinn's like. It's just like, there's no fucking way. They're over here. I'll tell you what the little I know about them.
If she is back doing her thing, then you know what? I think that the royals of this world need to fall anyway. It's fine. It's fine. We need a reset anyway. It's fine. She'll be fine.
Tell us everything you know about the Red Talon. It's like, you serious? And then you'll help me get out?
Are you
I don't know much.
I
know probably more. Quinn probably knows more than I know because they know about like the structure of like the like kingdom and shit. But like other than that, like
that's still one of my
thanks for letting me out of hell, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
But yeah, to
my friends.
To answer the question, bro, relatively definitively, most of them haven't really come much of true at all, and most of them are seeds to things that will probably come about happening in the future. One of them is just straight up unavoidable. One of them is like, if we don't get to it, it means it means we quit Vestige at some point.
Ooh,
I don't necessarily say which one it is, but one of them is completely unavoidable.
I gotta go back and like re-listen to them all. I gotta go and like remember what each of them are.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a question to bounce off of that, Logan, that popped out in my brain hole. Since you mentioned there's like an abandoned like narrative. I say abandoned very loosely because it's still sprinkled throughout, but it's not the focus anymore. Have there been any like abandoned plot ideas that you had before Vestige? Like, you're like, oh, this would be cool, but never mind, that wouldn't quite work here. Like, what are some ideas that you had like before Vestige even started that like were maybe like ideas that you had or things left on the cutting room floor or maybe plot threads that we've abandoned?
So it's like my initial approach to Vestige, because Vestige as a setting has been not Vestige, Somnus Domina as a setting has like been in my head for a very, 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 very long time. It's that thing that we all daydream about when we're in fucking high school and we're like, I'm gonna make a series someday. It's like, it was that, and it just changed and gestated and warped over the years. And eventually, to make it run for D&D, I smashed it into Forgotten Realms stuff and tried to make it fit the container. And I'm gonna be real, if I hadn't approached it from that position, if I had tried to just make an original game based on it, it would probably look a lot less sword and sorcery and like a lot more like fucking, I don't know, Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, like modern fantasy.
Yeah, a lot more science fantasy. Ironically, I think it's actually a good way to put it. I think the book I'm working on right now, the science fantasy book that's going to be like 100 years in the future, is probably going to look more like what it would have looked like. But
interesting. I kind of like that though.
Yeah. So it sort of adhered to, okay, well, here's the Lord of the Rings coat of paint that's got to be on this for the Forgotten Realms to work so that we can play it properly. And someday, I'm kind of veering off of the question, sorry. Someday I actually do want to release like a setting guide that is like an alternate Somnus Domina that went the direction that my original idea had gone, and see if I can make that into a proper setting with like altered classes and whatnot to play in and see how that goes. But obviously I've got a lot on my plate, so I'm not doing it right now. That said, that original story, if I had like written it, probably would have felt more like something like Final Fantasy 15. The Eidolons, in the way that they exist, were actually very, very heavily inspired by the way that the were they called the Primals in 15? I think they were.
Mm-hmm.
The gods in that setting, the way that the Primals existed, they were very originally supposed to be heavily inspired by them and be like these things that were within the world, kind of doing very specific things and didn't really like tolerating people all that much. And it was probably going to be a more contained story that sort of had the same bouncing between them to try to accomplish some long-term goal, kind of replacing Vogan's pilgrimage in a way, which I think Vogan's pilgrimage to their temples is sort of a translation of that original idea. And there was originally not going to be 12 of them, but then I got it in my head that I wanted to Zodiac them up. Heckin. And what was it? What was the original idea as well? Heckin. Ophiuchus was originally going to be a lot more involved directly, which is why when we started the campaign it was called Vestige of Ophiuchus, which it still makes sense because it's still the Zodiac Slayer, but it's still the Vestige of Ophiuchus. But originally Ophiuchus was going to be like a central, like, defining element in the story. But it was kind of all pieces. It's hard to say exactly what that story would have been because any role-playing story is immediately changed by the players and what they want to do. So there's like the shape of the cool set pieces I want in a story anytime I'm like writing one. And then as soon as there's players, I'm like, okay, well, how do those fit around what the players want to do? So like my original concept for the setting straight up just wouldn't work with like the highest standard group because they're so rooted in me introducing it as like a high fantasy sword and sorcery, kind of like Tales of Lord of the Rings-esque setting as opposed to the kind of science fantasy setting that I'm slowly cheating the setting back into by being like, oh, DGRs are back and the frame built or the accelerating technology. Weird how the world's slowly morphing kind of back into what I wanted it to be. And by slowly, I mean very, very rapidly.
And by slowly, I mean after a few months, we're basically in like fairy tale technology.
Yeah. I'm actually, again, a kind of a non sequitur. I'm actually very happy that that compromise had to be made because it means I can have a world where like chunks of it are like quote unquote traditional and more like naturalistic and more sword and sorcery. And then if you go like near high wave, you start to get into like mechs and robots and technology. And I just have this kind of amalgam world of like, yeah, there's some people out there with giant robots and there's some people out there who are friends with trees. And it entirely depends on where you are. And because of the logic of the world, you can do either. Have fun.
I love that, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it just makes the world feel more diverse and lived in, and it's like, yeah, here's where they kind of specialize in this, here's where they specialize in this, and those certain things will trickle into each other in different ways. And I think that's just really fun.
Yeah.
It's really neat hearing like your concept ideas, like your ideas behind what you thought things were going to go based on like this idea you've had in your brain for like ever. Yep. I've been really, I think you in particular know, I've been really scared to do my own stuff for like role plays and stuff. Ever since I started DMing, I've just been throwing things at like, oh, let's do a Pokemon game. Let's do a this game. Let's do a that game. And quite recently I got a very small window of time, a half a year slot showed up because of daylight savings time fucking things over, where I am going to be
created half a year as it does.
I am going to be able to do like my own original idea campaign for the next like 6 months starting next week. So that's going to be fun. And hopefully that'll be a kick in my pants to be able to do more things like that, or it'll show me that people aren't interested. One or the other.
Well, I mean, whichever happens, happens.
Exactly.
I was a bit frightened to put something completely original on the table when we did Vestige originally. Heckin', because, you know, as you know, like, my role-playing stuff since I began, it was always in, like, Bleach or Fate or very briefly Mondaiji or whatever. I was also just doing anime stuff. Admittedly, I cheated a little bit because I used the Forgotten Realms as, like, the actual entry point, because it just felt like playing D&D.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have done if I was just hardcore being like, okay, totally new setting. For example, another difference that the original, like, setting, like what Somnus Domino was before the Forgotten Realms had to be sort of smashed into it, there really wouldn't have been other planes. Like, the idea of, like, heckin' there being planes apart from the material plane really weren't a thing. Like, a lot like with Final Fantasy 15, the gods would just kind of, they'd either be in their own little pocket demi-planes, or they're just in the world somewhere, like, chilling, being, or they're just part of nature. So, like, stuff like that is a vestige of it. So if I ever go back and I make, like, a 100% concept version Somnus Domina, it's probably not going to feel at all like heckin' regular D&D. In fact, it may be a point where I'm like, I might start thinking about if I just want to make my own TTRPG.
Yeah, that would be totally fair.
But I do like working in the 5.19 stuff. Plus, if I make my own TTRPG, I have to abandon all the work I put into this. So
yeah, like, I'm really enjoying the 5.19 Ranger, by the way.
Woo!
So yeah, I got to use pocket glitter. By the way, I know I was like, hey, I'm gonna take pocket glitter. It's great. I love pocket.
You gotta, when you have time, you gotta run me through how that one-person campaign thing works.
Yeah, I would love to. It's real fun. I'm gonna be doing one this weekend probably. So
nice. Yeah, I would just love to learn how that works and see if I have any interest in, like, looking into ever, like, making stuff for a thing like that, because that seemed really interesting to me.
Yeah, it's really fun. Also, it's like, it's a nice way to scratch that that D&D itch when you have off weeks. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but heck yeah. I realize, like, I asked you extra questions on top of that, but that's just kind of how I like to run this. But
that's all right. I'll charge you extra later.
Cool.
My invoice will account for it.
All right, cool. Just invoice me later.
Get to put invoices in?
Some of us are.
That's me.
I got a question for Casper. Casper question.
All right.
After Casper had his alignment change, he's a bit more selfish, but in his relationship with Krusk, he is shown to put his friend's needs over his. Yuri said that the only way to save Krusk permanently was to get him far away from the evil god. If whatever you're about to do with Kagetsuchi does send Krusk far away, like, let's say Krusk is just jettisoned away from us and it's like, cool, well, that's taken care of and we never get to see him again. How do you think Casper will handle the absence of his friend?
That's really hard, because saying this aloud is going to be probably the hardest thing I've ever done as Casper. But if it was before the alignment shift, he'd probably be like, no, I'm gonna go find him. I'm gonna go I need to be there for my friend. But like was said, he's being a lot more selfish now. He's being a lot more in his own face, and in a lot of instances lately, he has felt during this alignment shift that he has put a lot more in to the friendship than he's getting back from Krusk. And again, I've had to make him think this because I want him to be really selfish. So, like, you know, he lost his boots. He has now lost his one big magical question. He has like tried to get through to Krusk, and Krusk was completely off. Noted, Krusk was off because of what was happening in their own brain, but evil Casper doesn't give a fuck about that. So he still loves Krusk, and he still loves all of you guys. He loves the entire party. He will put their needs in front of his reluctantly every time. But if this continues forward, which it is, we're playing a game, Casper's just gonna, at some point, as soon as there's not, a reason to stick around, he's like, okay, I can be more, I can have more things and do more things myself away. So if Crust disappears, I don't think he's gonna go try to find him.
Dang.
And again, this is entirely because of the alignment shift, because he's gonna always be like, Krusk is my friend and I love Krusk, and if Krusk's ever around, I'm gonna help him. But in his own little reluctance, his own little selfishness, his own little greed that he has going on right now, he's just gonna be like, there we go. I feel really weird saying that because Casper was such a good boy.
The goodest of boys, if you will.
There were decisions that I made. I don't strictly go by the alignment chart. I've actually very vocally been against a lot of alignment stuff in D&D. But I do like that alignment gives you that ability to sort of flavor things a bit better, which is why I did not make him immediately just go kick puppies. But I made him, just like what's something that would drastically change him magically, but still have him be Casper. And that's like, well, his one big thing before was he was kind of like almost a Robin Hood, or he's like, I'm gonna steal things, I'm gonna use those things to help my party and my friends, and I'm gonna get these things back to my da, and everyone's gonna be happy. And now it's like, no, I'm gonna be happy. Me. So that's like the big issue, the big change is he's a lot more selfish. And once people are out of his life that he feels are going to be, something that'll make him have to be selfless, he's like, we don't have to go get them. I love them and I'm sure they're doing fine, but I'm going to go over here now.
Why do I have to go there?
Luckily, he still has the deck, so maybe one day he'll reverse that. But that's what I decided whenever I had him switch over, and that's how he is now.
I think that honestly, like, it makes sense, and especially from like also just a role play perspective, you don't have to completely rewire your brain. It's like, frig, okay, how do I even play you now? Like you could, like, knowing you could probably settle into it pretty easily, but like it's also one of those, is like, okay, how do I want to approach this? And I think the way you've approached it, where it's like, it's not, I won't say subtle, but it's more subtle than you could have made it, if that makes sense. And
like I mentioned, as long as Krusk is around him, he is going to be completely like, yeah, I have a thing that can help. It's like he's always gonna do it, but there's always gonna be that air of, I could have kept it for myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that could have been.
It's like
me,
one. It's like
fine.
One step away from whenever you guys got cursed. It's like one step away from the whole, oh, this is mine, I'm gonna keep it forever, even if it helps things. That one bit of Casper where it's like, no, I still want to be helpful. It's still there. He still loves his friends and he wants to make sure they're okay and protected. But like, if he didn't have to, he would have kept that fucking that question in his brain forever. He would have been like, no, that's mine, I'm not gonna use that. And now he's like, I need to figure out the way to help.
Yeah, it's like that struggling with yourself. No, it makes total sense. I like it. I enjoy the way you've played it.
Yeah, I love Casper. Casper is one of those very fun, come out of nowhere characters for me. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy him as much as I did, and I love him to death.
I'm glad. That always makes me happy when I hear that people are like, yeah, I really love playing this character. It's like, yay. That just makes my heart happy. What a previously good boy.
Alignment is a bit of a tricky thing. I know a lot of people are very in, like, they either play it because it's a thing that helps them with certain abilities, or they're like, no, alignment should be abandoned entirely. I don't know if I've ever fully fallen into either. I've gone back and forth on it. I think I find the lawful, chaotic, and neutral half of alignment useful, and not the good, evil, neutral half of it. Because I think that, like, I'm sorry that I'm like just being like, bam, new topic entirely.
No, dude.
But I was just thinking about it.
Roundtable Q&A style podcast. This
like
we can chat.
In the future, I might do it this way. Maybe I'll experiment with some campaign where I'm like, yeah, choose it this way. But like, heckin', being chaotic in terms of alignment just means that you don't particularly care about the law when it comes to like goals. Like, you will do what you have to do, regardless of social morals and social regulations and whatnot. Whereas lawful is you try to accomplish your goals within like the standards set by the community and the law around you, and that changes depending on like the scale, like whether you're in a city or in a town or whatnot. And it also changes based on, a demon who is lawful, they are lawful to the culture, or sorry, a devil that's lawful is lawful to the culture of devils, of the system that they have set up, but they don't necessarily care about like the rules of a town. They find those useful because they help to describe your character's relationship with like, am I willing to disregard community for the self or for those I care about? Whereas the evil, good, neutral part, I'm very like, those are like so personally defined. Like, you might as well rename them to like nice, selfish, and ambivalent for how much they actually matter. You know what I mean?
It honestly, that'd probably make more sense. When it comes to alignment, especially, I'm gonna say this: I've never been mad at alignment whenever we're playing. The only time I'm ever mad at alignment is whenever I see other people do shit.
Yeah,
because I trust our players. I trust our friend group with things like this. I think we're all a bunch of fucking A tier like D&Ders over here. But like every time I see I'm scrolling through like freaking YouTube shorts or something, and someone's like, here's this like list of alignments for like DC heroes, or here's this list of alignment, and then or I find somebody's like, well, sorry, I'm a lawful good character, so that means I have to stop you.
It's what my character would do stories.
Yeah, I hate
those.
Oh,
they're the
Drive
worst.
me nuts.
I mentioned to you the old DM that I had, you know him, and the idea that I was playing a quote-unquote evil character, but not really. The entire plan was to have this character like basically realize they were good. But I was playing this evil tiefling, and I was in a party with like 2 neutrals and 2 good people, and then the 2 neutral people left the campaign. And I was left with the 2 good people, and then the good people decide, oh, we don't have anyone to do trap checking and shit like that. Let's push the evil sorcerer in front of us to have them trigger the traps. Like, yeah, that sounds like a lawful good thing for you to do. Yeah. It's like, well, you're evil, and it's like, fuck off.
I do
know I'm evil.
I do think good, evil, and neutral could very much be switched with selfish, selfless, and ambivalent, and basically achieve the same things. Because I also think there's some like moralization, because selfish people and selfless people can exist in tandem because everyone's kind of that on a scale somewhere. Yeah. Whereas if you use the phrases good and evil, you do create a diametrically opposed system where you're like, well, I am good and you are bad. Or I am bad and so will not care about who is good. Whereas a selfish person would be very willing to work with a selfless person because they could probably use them without there being moral judgment going on. And a selfless person might be willing to help a selfish person because being selfish isn't the end of the world. Plenty of people are selfish. And it would describe your tendencies. Like, I think describing a rogue as chaotic selfish is like way more descriptive than being like what everyone does, which is chaotic neutral. Because a rogue's not ambivalent. They're usually very self-concerned. But in the current system, you would be like, well, I want to steal stuff, but I don't want to play an evil character. So I'm going to be always chaotic neutral, basically, forever.
Yep. That's what almost every like thing defaults to. It's like, I want to have fun, so I'm going to be chaotic neutral.
Yeah, right? Like 80% of people, especially new players, make their characters chaotic because they want to know that they can act within the law, but know that they can also go be a big damn hero when the city guard says stop investigating. And they say neutral because most don't really want to like swing to the extreme ends of the pendulum of good and evil. which is why, like I was saying, like I think that chaotic, lawful, and like neutral in that regard are very useful, or more like chaotic, lawful, and none, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I hadn't thought about these words until just now, but genuinely, I think it's more useful to say selfish, selfless, and ambivalent or neutral. I might do that in a future campaign. I might be like, yeah, well, let's use those, see how they affect how we feel. The main thing is, for really good role players, alignment isn't super important.
Yeah.
It's a really good compass. The only thing it's really good for is stat blocks, so that you can be like, if I cast like detect good and evil, I want to know that the devil in the room, I will detect them, and the GM's not going to be like, I don't know, are they really evil though? Are they really selfish?
Yeah.
Or are they just...
He built an orphanage, actually. I mean,
But
he burned it down later, but it helped a lot of people.
I think that's one of those problems that emerges though from this sense of, I have to trust that my GM is going to want to play the game as opposed to outsmart me. Because when people make exceptions like that, they're like, oh no, it doesn't detect the devil because he's not selfish. He's just doing his part in the culture that he was raised in as a devil. It's part of his nature. He's neutral. And it's like, how about you fuck off? You knew what we were doing. I want to play the game. I guess I'll never take any spell that interacts with alignment again. Thanks, Bob. Fucking, you know what I mean?
Bob.
Apart from those things, it's not super mega useful.
And there's a way to make that work too, right? It's like, here's like their alignment, here's like their spell alignment. Like, that's a really like rough, like there's a way to make it work, is what I'm
It'd be a lot easier to call it their nature.
Detect influence.
Their nature, yeah.
I wish there was like I could technically do it via quality traits, but I wish there was like a part of the system where it's like, it's not that the NPC is evil, it's that like that's part of their nature. Like a devil, like evil, quote unquote, is part of their nature as opposed to their discernment. And be, I don't know, maybe just detect good and evil should be just switched to like detect nature. Who knows?
Yeah.
But like, heckin', you get kind of what I'm circling, right? In
I know exactly what you mean.
The problem is like, the system is very much, you're either at negative 100, you're at 100. You're either at the kill everyone, kill your sister fable ending, you're at the destroy your sword, be a paragon fable ending, or you're at the be fucking nothing, why'd you play the game fable ending. You're not anywhere between those points. You're either at 100% good, 100% bad, or 0. And
which is again why I love our group, because you can trust with like good role players and good DM where it's this kind of stuff, while it's interesting to chat about and talk about, is not gonna super influence somebody. Like, it's not gonna be a point of, we're not gonna listen to you, Raleigh, because we know you're bad.
We know your alignment. Exactly.
We're not gonna listen to you, Nemric, not because of your being evil, but because you're an asshole.
Because you're Nemric.
That's where we're at. That's what we need to be.
Well, the thing about our group is that I love so much, one of the many things, is that we interact with each other in character as people, And I think that's really important. So. Yeah.
I also think, and this is kind of a fun thing, it's just been in the back of my head and I haven't brought it up because I don't expect you to care about it, Cody. The alignment thing, I get that you're like being magically compelled to act a certain way, but I have such a loosey-goosey interpretation of alignment because I'm like, man, you can be in alignment, but you can also act out of the alignment to the point where the GM says you're a different alignment. I'm so in the camp of like, if you wanted to just make it a bit of a micro journey, you'd be like, yeah, the card changed like my natural impulses, but fundamentally I'm kind of still ultimately the same. So I just immediately kind of go back to acting the way I've been comfortable with, and my alignment shifts back,
That's what I thought I was literally gonna do, which is why I'm like, okay, the magic had to have done something. So that's where I was at that week that we had like to think on things. I'm like, I want to have him be selfish. That's the big thing. That's the only difference right now. He's not going to go kick puppies. He's not going to be like, all this stuff. I just want him to magically have been impulsed to be selfish now. And maybe one day he'll get over that, because people can get over things like that. But right now it's like, oh no, I want to keep these shoes. But he needs me to do things. fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heckin'. But yeah, alignment is... It's so conditionally necessary and also so arbitrary that it's really hard to engage with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Feels like... it feels to me like a vestige of earlier editions where people... Playing D&D the way that we play it now, like kind of, you know, I'm saying this broadly, the critical role way, the really roleplay heavy way. They didn't invent that, but I'm going to say it that way. It's sort of a new phenomenon for so many tables to want to play that way. Not new entirely, but relatively new that lots of people are like, yeah, I want a roleplay centric, we're telling stories thing. Traditionally, D&D by most people, for better or worse, was played by people who are like, yeah, let's get together, let's crack open a few beers, let's have some chips, put on some spooky candles, and let's do a dungeon and kill a dragon. And I think that alignment served that a lot better, because you could stick a label on your character and then be like, okay, well, when it matters, the 10% of personality that they realistically have can center around it. I don't have to act a certain way. The GM doesn't have to consider things or how I've been acting, because the way I've been acting is roll dice, swing sword. So they know I'm evil, or they know I'm chaotic neutral because I wrote it on my sheet. So that's who they are, because I'm here to get drunk and kill goblins. You know? Fucking, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that's really where alignment worked.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just not what people really want these days.
I mean, like anything, it's changed. The way the game is played has changed and adapted. So, you know, I think it's only a matter of time before maybe it's like the alignment chart is changed with time, or maybe it won't be. And
yeah, it's gonna be as soon as Logan does the thing.
No, I make fucking
right
chaotic selfless.
Now.
Like Robin Hood, chaotic selfless. Who's to say Robin Hood's good or evil, you know?
Yeah.
But they are pretty selfless. Chaotic, anti-establishment. You know what? Let's change lawful and chaotic to patriotic and anti-establishment, so I can have my anti-establishment selfless character and my patriotic ambivalent character. That sounds so obtuse.
That's, I don't know, that sounds perfect.
I would like to be anti-establishment.
It'd be funny
because
consider this, because there are times where that is actually a better description than the boys. You could say that Homelander is functionally lawful evil because he does try to work within public optics, but wouldn't it be like way better to describe him as patriotic selfish?
Incredible.
And like fucking Butcher as fucking like anti-establishment selfish? Just saying. If you only think about the boys, this works really well.
I just can't wait until the next edition where we can cast Detect Selfish.
What's your Hey, what's your class? I am an anti-disestablishmentarianism new age wizard who is rhetorically one sec, hold on. I'm going to get to my other page. So my character, I've written down that they subscribe to a Kantian style of ethics, and under that umbrella, I am a patriotic, selfish. Good, yeah, no, it detects you.
Also,
right,
I'm
good.
an evocation wizard, so I'm gonna fireball.
Yeah. Ugh, combat, am I right?
Ugh.
Ugh.
We'll combat this.
Well, normally this spell
Not
would
really,
immediately
I like
kill
combat,
you,
but like-
but you did mention you are a Kantian wizard. So it does only crit on you.
Oh. Shit.
Normally, this would kill your opponent, but you did say right before striking, do it for the views. So you actually were paying too much attention to the theatrics of it.
Doesn't my critical hit doesn't deal maximum damage? No, sorry. Whenever you made your character, you wrote down that you your style of life was very utilitarian, Ergo, you accept that the average of all of your critical hit dice is going to be larger than the sum of the individuals, so you actually roll each critical hit die instead of maxing each. Yeah, sorry. No, I know it's a beginner thing. Everyone forgets. Proceed.
I'm going to tell you right now, whenever I put that on my sheet, I just like rolling dice, man.
All right, Hayden. I know you've been trying to move on to the next question.
No,
Sorry,
okay.
Hayden.
No, it's okay. I'm here for it. I'm like, hey, if that's what this episode's gonna be, I'm just gonna sit here and let y'all rip.
Just name it that episode.
I'd like to have a conversation with my opponent about Hergian dialectics. I need to know where they stand on that before I try to vorpal stab them.
Well, you have 6 seconds, so.
All right.
You gotta say it real fast. Like, but I had this prepared.
It's all right. I prepared talking
Can we have
points.
12 seconds if they do their turn as well that way?
They have to listen to me anyway on their turn, so when you think about it. I got a question for you, Logan.
Mm-hmm.
This is so specific and I love it. Incessant. This is how I've been talking all day. I had a 10 a.m. recording session and this is about how it went.
You mean a recording Pfeffin?
I'm recording Pfeffin. Fuck, bro. Oh, good golly gosh. All right. In session 15 of Vestige of a Fucus, you mentioned, right? Like I said, specific.
I can't wait to find out what I mentioned.
You mentioned that the party was 5 years early entering the Crystal Queen's palace. Was that a literal 5 years, or were you trying to scare the party?
I don't know what I meant. I expected campaign 1 to end after like fucking 40 episodes. I can't be trusted to say things.
That's so funny.
I expected it was going to be Murkwire and all that stuff, and then like immediately be like, oh, there's a tournament going on, and whether or not they joined it, have it be like, oh, an attack happened in the city, and there's a thing with the merchant lords, and it was either going to be engaged with through the tournament, or they were going to be like hired on by them, which is why I see stuff with Agravain, who was very like, you owe me a favor. I was going to like have a little subterfuge subplot going on, which I kind of already did, but like, and then that was going to be that, and then I expected the party would do something like, be like, we heard of Gilligan's pit, or we need to go to Grey Rock to investigate the cave. And, like, you guys fucking... Matthew switched characters. He brought in Flux, who I was going to use to seed the eventual DGR stuff. And then it put it on the table, and that caused fucking the narrative to be rearranged so that the Tenebros knew about the cauldron. And then Diane was positioned in such a way where I thought it would be interesting. It couldn't stop my brain from information being given to her. And I was like, well, now she would go and do this because she got put in this position. And then you guys followed her. And I was like, well, we're doing the sort of Damocles stuff. We're gonna go do the Gurren Lagann fucking campaign 80 million stuff right now.
Can we talk about something though?
What?
That was session 15?
That? No.
The Esper stuff was session, or the Crystal Queen stuff was session 15?
Yes, it was.
You know how many things happened before that?
Quite a few. Let's see.
15 sessions?
You guys were sent to fight against Murkwire. You fought Murkwire. You fought your way out of the underground place. You went back to the town. You fought off a amniotic outbreak in a place. You retrieved Kyverium's research. You signed up for... I think you heard about the fucking tournament. You traveled to rescue Kyverium. Oh, no, you didn't rescue Kyverium's research. You went to rescue Kyverium. You did the town with the undead... with the Seed of Rot stuff. You proceeded on to heckin' Ridgemont.
An entire chunk of the Underdark.
Yeah, you went there. You dove down to try to find Kyverium. You helped out the Dark Elves. You found the Kuatoa, or Kuohono, whichever one it is that isn't the race that I made. You fought them. You retrieved Kyverium. Raleigh died. You came back to the surface. You talked to the Esper. You hunted down an Idolos in return for stuff and went to them, and then you went to Satsuma's castle.
15 sessions!
Yeah, it went pretty quick, honestly.
Oh my god. You know what? Like many things in Vestige, fucking Raleigh.
A lot happens in Vestige.
Yeah, we've done a lot.
Dude, Flux just overcomplicated everything. ever since Flux showed up, games have been slower.
You're not necessarily wrong.
I love Flux to death.
Oh, I love Flux so much.
I do think Flux is ultimately the twisting point where the Cauldron became an option to do. Because if it wasn't for that, you guys would never have found out about the Cauldron even existing.
Till like the very end.
Yeah, because, you know, you only found out about it because of the research that was given to Diane via Tenebros, and Tenebros knowing about that was sort of a hook to get Flux to where Flux needed to be. So the universe reoriented itself into such a way where that knowledge could be found by you guys. Then Diane fucked off to go do that, and then Flux was like, all right, well, we got to pursue her. And then it was like, okay, so the Cauldron, bang. That's where we're going.
The real final boss of the Vestige campaign now, what was supposed to be the final boss of the first third, a horde of goblins.
Yeah. It's me, a CR8 gladiator, the most vicious opponent you've ever faced. You're gonna get to the land away, and there's gonna be a traitor among the Lions Council, and they're gonna be like, fucking, you have no idea what you're in for. I've trained my entire life. I'm a master of the blade. And they're gonna aim a sword at you, and you guys are gonna be like a magic blade? What? No.
Dude, it says above your head you're level 6.
A powerful opponent. I've trained my entire life. I see why you're not afraid. You didn't realize I have my entourage of 6 dudes.
6? Only?
Quintus, I think we're gonna have to kill this guy.
Oh no.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
Give me like 12 seconds.
I sure am hoping that, like, some god decides I'm worthy of being a favored soul in this moment or something, because this is not looking good for me.
I'm gonna tell you this.
Things aren't looking good for old Traitorio Valorbilt.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Traitorio, my sworn brother. Avi's going to kill you. Do you have anything you want me to tell Dad?
I have faced all manner of trolls and goblins, and come out of it alive. I have seen and cut the head from a hydra. I am... Oh my god, what was that? Ah! Oh, fuck!
You know,
Jesus! Was that a knife? From like 100 feet away? Ah!
You know, in the new Thor movie, Love and Thunder, how whenever he got flicked, there was like a Rip Loki thing on the back of his thing, like tattooed. It's just later on the campaign, there's just a Rip Territorio on my back.
Oh, what a bad
R.I.P. Traitorio Valorbilt.
Should I have slowed down to? I wasn't sure if you wanted me to.
I don't think it was going to. I don't think it was going to matter.
No, no, you're right. You're right.
It's all right. My long-lost son, who I sent away to Gilligan's pit, will return to avenge me.
It's Traitorio!
Oh. Wait, what? Well, I guess I'm adopting a child. This won't complicate anything in life.
So you're telling me there is a Valorbilt child off in Gilligan's pit? Here we go!
Off to Gilligan's pit, I guess.
Off to Gilligan's pit. Where have I heard that name before?
Where have I heard that before? Probably nothing.
Kyverium in the background. Oh, no.
Quintus, no! Quintus, don't go!
Uh-oh.
Not this again.
It's fine. I already had amnesis. I have like the immunities now or whatever, right? I have the antibodies.
It's like
I have those Apple antibodies.
So I've developed Apple antibodies against amnesis, right? That's how this works.
That's how it works. I've never heard it told different.
Oh.
The next part of the campaign is just going to be fun.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to get back.
I can't wait for something to happen in my family. My uncle turns out to be evil. they're forcing me to stay back, and you guys have to do a Shrek 2 fucking saving the princess, but it's actually me like montage.
I'm so fucking down for that, man. It's like, all right, who's doing the cover of I Need a Hero?
Oh, that's Kitty.
Who's singing
That's
it?
Kitty.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
Kitty
dude.
entirely.
Oh, please. All right, Aaron, get on it. Come on, Parnell. Oh, man. Roll the question. And roll it again.
Oh, right. We do questions here.
Yeah, we do questions. Hey, man, like I said, I don't give a fuck if we just riff.
Cody,
Hi.
a question for you.
Hi.
Hi.
You said once that Quintus relied on Miriam's help when it came to any kind of romance before the campaign. When he did show romantic interest in Lyra and Lexi, he didn't seem as comfortable asking his best friend, hold on, I'm misreading this. When he did show romantic interest in Lyra and Lexi, he didn't seem as comfortable as his best friend would sharing his feelings. Yet Laurie's mother called him a ladies' man. Do you think this was once true? If so, what changed?
So romance is a strong word. See, what actually is, I would rely on Kitty to make it to where I would look better to people who I would potentially want to what's the noble term? Bone down.
I was just gonna say, fuck.
But no, I think that the big thing is I am super curious, because first off, if all that is if it's true that Quinn is Laurie's dad, I really want to know about the mom a lot more at that point, because I want to know what the hell happened there. I want to know what was going down. Was it a fling? Did they actually know anything about, was anything they said true, or were they looking through it through like a rose tinted glasses? I want to know a lot of that shit. But just like everything else, I feel that when Quinn wants something, he goes to an expert in that thing, right? So whenever he wanted to get with like girls and things over at the Land Away, he's like, Kitty is an absolute like slayer, right? Kitty will let me know what to do, what to say. He will hype me up, and we are good. Whenever it came to like other people, whenever it came to Lyra, whenever it came to Lexi, that was whenever like Quinn was already at a position where he's like, I can't be a fuckboy anymore. I was told that I have to like find an heir. I was told I had to do all this other stuff. Whoever I get with from now on is probably going to be with me forever. But also he was at the point where he's like, I haven't traveled ever with anyone other than Kitty. Even then, very short amount of that. These people, Lyra saved me. Lyra saved my fucking life and the lives of all these people that I thought that I was here to protect. And they showed like so much gumption, and they're hot as all hell, and everything about them is just the best. And I need to start talking as Quinn and not Cody. But no, Lyra, 100%. If I was a non-roleplay heavy, if I was a me playing Quinn instead of Quinn being Quinn person, I would have tried to go with Lyra 1,000,000,000% of the time. And then there was the Lexi thing, and the Lexi thing happened in apparently around the session 16 or something. I don't fucking know. The Lexi thing happened in such a way that it worked with all of the things that I had set for Quinn. Especially, like, again, I mentioned these so many times, but the flaws with Quinn, where he has to see someone do something before he truly respects them. And I played around with that a bit. It wasn't to that extent, but whenever he saw that Lexi was being somewhat like actually effective, or like somewhat, you know, of a true like adult, basically, that's the first time we saw Lexi as an adult at all, and so that they could take care of themselves, it was crazy. And then, you know, it's like I feel like I should figure this out. I shouldn't just have someone else do this for me. So like that was more Quinn kind of almost just growing up, I guess, than anything else. He did go to Kitty for quite a lot, but like he didn't rely on Kitty for that. And that was, I think, the biggest thing. And again, I want to know so many things about Lori's mom, if that is true. If it is, if that is the actual heck yeah thing, I totally want to be like, okay, Logan, spill right now. I need to know. I need to know what's going down here. I need to know what's going on. Do I know their name, Logan?
I want to know so bad, just because I'm really nosy. Like,
if I ever find out, you'll find out.
Frick yeah, dude.
Unless Logan says I can't.
Hey, Logan, you should tell me.
Yeah.
You should say the same thing. You should say the same thing to me. If you find out, I'll find out. You should say the same thing.
Anyway. Different circumstances. But also, I kind of don't want to know, because if it is true, then I get to react however Avi might react.
I am super waiting. I am super waiting until, first off, after Gilligan's, because obviously at that point somebody might find out or somebody might say something. But also, if I don't find out until much later, cool. But yeah, it is still something that I'm interested in. I'm invested for the long haul. Until you guys tell me to leave, I'm here. So
dude, same. Until y'all are like Hayden GTFO, bro, I'll be like, y'all are kind of stuck with me.
If this is something that I learn in 6 years, that's awesome.
Yeah, let's go.
That just means I have 6 years of playing more games. Let's go.
Let's go. I have one more question for y'all before we wrap today. And this one is actually really fun. So in our community, we have so many talented artists and writers, and animators as well. So in all your years, what?
Just the way you said that sounded like you had disdain for the animators.
No,
just like
I didn't.
We have so many great artists and contributors and animators as well.
No,
just
no,
and then the cadence of seeing it on the bottom of a card and being like, and the guys from Jersey are here as well.
And it's the
oh yeah, there they are. I noticed they. Was wondering why I couldn't hear myself think. Anyways.
Anyway. No, my brain just a little hiccup. So we have so many talented creators in the community, and I love it. So in all your years doing Nat 19, what fan creation or creations stick in your mind as the most memorable?
Oh, geez. This is hard.
I'm never gonna forget the first Quinn art.
Oh yeah?
I'm never gonna forget the first Quinn fan art of just Quinn in his underwear.
Yeah. Yeah, Din's early fleet of art, during the glass crown stuff specifically, that all holds a very, very fond place. I think, actually, you know what? Specifically, the image of, everyone who was going to be in the tournament all walking up on the tournament.
Oh, yeah.
That image is it's in my heart forever.
So anime opening.
Yep. I love that so much. Obviously, I love the music videos that people have made. Those are really nice. But there's so many of them. And it doesn't diminish them, but I'm also none of them are exactly my favorite. Mm-hmm. They're really, really cool.
There's also all the little compilations are great.
All the dice. I think my favorite fan thing that was made was probably all the dice sets.
Oh right, yeah.
Honestly, I think that's it, because that took so much time and effort to actually craft.
Ones that Claire made,
yeah, Claire's dice sets.
I still have to steal those from you if I ever see you.
Yeah. Those, probably. Just because, they're something physical that we received. They took time, they took thought, they took energy.
Oh, yeah.
Not that other art doesn't, but,
oh, yeah.
They took, working with their hands and, packaging them and sending them.
As someone who makes dice, yeah. Like, it's a lot of work, and the fact that she made all of those is still so incredible to me. I have, like, my, I showed them to her when she was over, I think, like, a couple Christmases ago. I think it was last Christmas, Claire was here, and I have, like, my jumbo Avi D20s that she made me just up on my mantle. What?
Nice.
I just thought of one that I'm super never gonna fucking forget.
Hell yeah, what is it?
The Lexi Quinn like confession thing, but it's not because of the thing, because obviously that was me and Gary, we did that. But it was every time Quinn would think of somebody else, there'd be a little glamour shot photo of them.
Yeah.
And then it just goes over to the shelf where there's a ton of glamour shots, including one of like Avi, which is like, why do you have that, Quinn? Why?
It's a glamour shot where she's like flipping him the bird. It's great.
It's so funny, and like that's probably never gonna leave my brain. I still don't know what the show is, but like the horse show thing where like the sad song that Din did for Winchester.
Oh my god, I just watched this. Centaur World.
Centaur World, yeah, that one where the end we didn't know if Winchester was gonna live or not, so they just made them look like they're dead. I mean, they were. Then there was so many really good ones, and I'm lucky enough that people really love Quinn, people really love things happen around them, so I got a ton in the very beginning, and then like recently I didn't expect this, but somebody got me a loot of Nim. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, there's something. I'm gonna say if there's something special about someone looting your OC, you're like,
yeah,
I made it.
I'm so down. It's like you sure did give them an attractive penis. Nice.
It's so interesting because like I know the feeling, but I don't, because all the looting is of like NPCs, which I inherently have a different relationship to than I do to like player characters I've made.
Yeah.
So as like an eternal DM, I've had so much of that, but also none of that.
It's very fun.
I kind of want to chime in because like this is like very close to my heart, is Gridler making an animated music video of one of my songs.
Yeah.
That just I think about that almost daily, just the animation of Raven Daughter's Lament, which is one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and like just that existing is the coolest thing to be like, someone animated to my music. That's nuts. So much appreciation for the creatives in our community, and just like for all the fans. Y'all have a lot of passion, and we really appreciate it so much. Anytime there's fan art, the group gets very excited about it, so keep at it. We love it.
Anytime I find it, these days I tend to forward it to our Discord.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good. This episode was so good. I love hanging out with y'all. It's so nice.
So the question that I thought was going to get asked, because every single time I ask people, like, well, you guys want to know? They're always just like, I want to know what really happened in the swamp. And I'm like, guys, I don't know that. I can't answer that.
No one knows.
I can't answer that.
Quinn asked on previous Wits and Crits, and I'ma be real. Anytime, like, I think, like, I asked it to Aaron, he's like, and therefore, if anyone's ever asked, I sometimes, it wasn't in this batch of questions, I'ma be real, chat, and my boys here, I sometimes skip over it because they don't know, and that's
it's just like the Halloween games where it's like the incident. We don't know what the incident is.
I don't know. They don't know. The hag doesn't know. No one knows.
That's the fun of it. So
if the hag ever shows up, I want them to talk about it so vaguely so that I can respond extremely vaguely.
If a hag gets introduced to this campaign, I'm gonna get so excited. I love hags so much.
I want this to never be known. That's where I'm at this point. I want it to literally be brought up again at some point, and just still till the end of Vestige, we don't know.
Someone in the party asks, like, so what is it about this swamp situation, and both Miriam and Quinn get the I was gonna say they just get a long like 1,000-yard stare and they just go quiet. It's
we do the Excalibur face from
Soul. Whoa. It's you know what? I don't want to know.
Yep.
If it makes your face ugly, then I don't
whispers into Avi's ear. They also get the Excalibur.
I guess I'm calling them out a little technically, and I don't want to discourage them from theorizing. But there was a person in the chat that you guys can't see on the Discord who implied that they think that the swamp involved some time travel shenanigans that would allow Lori to be Quinn's kid without there being anything suspicious going on, and I was just time travel swamp.
Or I'm a fuckboy and I fucked whenever I was in high school.
Time travel swamp. Time travel swamp. Insert the Squidward from the future episode. Time travel swamp! Fetal position on the ground. Time travel swamp!
No one ever does anything they're not supposed to before they're of age, guys. Know that.
Especially not in a high fantasy medieval
Especially not in a fantasy world where one of them is literally a noble who's constantly getting told to go fuck.
It's well, I better get on it, ladies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm actually looking forward to as far as Land Away shit?
What's that?
I'm actually just looking forward to potentially seeing more of the war that's happening there.
Yeah.
Me too,
that is
honestly.
my
There's still an invasion going on.
Because that was such a big thing. It was that's Quinn's biggest fucking to his thing. That's his biggest failure is what he did there. So I want to see more of that shit. I want to see what happens when we go back there and potentially, because all the political things, everything going on in the Lions Council, everything that probably is tying into it in some way, but just the idea of going onto that battlefield, seeing that motherfucker and fighting him, buh.
I'm excited.
Milgog Nightslayer.
He's gonna be dead from
He's gonna be Night Slayed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be known as.
I can't wait for you guys to fight the CR6 orc who acts as the main antagonist of the land. I'm
gonna be known as Quintus Asshole Slayer.
Fucking Quintus walks up and it's just I swore on the memory of my father, who's no longer dead, that I would return and put an end to you. You have been a scourge to my country for too long. Have at thee! Throws spear, gets him. Oh.
You know what? Maybe fighting,
Take that, you and your metal arm.
Did I mention I went to space?
Yeah, I think us fighting in space might have had something to do with why this was.
All right, I'm gonna return to the airship I rode in on, and maybe we don't do this part of the story. Maybe let's go back and just have not done this part of the story. It feels like it's not really connected to much of anything. Let's just maybe
take the airship over the army, and then just Wrench goes. Just fires down.
Unloading salvos.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for avenging my family, who's not dead.
We're doing what?
This is for my father, who's fine now.
That's fun.
We were doing what?
This is for them, for killing my father. Pans over to Lucy in the background. You get him!
You get him, son!
Thanks, Dad.
But in a not super gonna be easy, probably gonna lose kind of way, I still want to fight him. I think that's gonna be one of my favorite things.
The universe shifts in such a way that encounters will always be balanced to be interesting for the part of the game we're in, so you have nothing to worry about.
I'm gonna go to that motherfucker. I'm gonna.
I think that any GM that concedes to the idea that the party got over leveled for this area, sometimes that's kind of a little true in short term things, but fucking honestly, it's if you got a big bad and the party leveled 5 times before they got to them for some reason. Give them some extra henchmen, or put a level on them, or they got an artifact. I don't know. You're the GM. You can do so many millions of fucking things to bring the encounter up to where it needs to be fun. No one's gonna have fun curb stomping them unless some like plan was put in motion to make that happen. It's within your control. You can joke about it. Like that time when you guys fucking, with the Yugoloths, when you entered into the town and you guys just curb stomped those fucking Yugoloths.
That
like,
was fun.
I was like, well, I expected that to be harder, but that's okay. I thought this was funny too. And then I kind of got my revenge when you fought the Ultraloth and he gave you guys a fucking run for your money. So, you know, all things in balance.
I will never, ever forget when we realized that, oh shoot, Avi should have been able to sentinel that one guy. So we wound it back and then you went, he may have made a mistake.
Yep.
Because now it was then my turn, and it's like, oh no.
Yep. But if it's like your big bad,
that lives in my brain forever.
And you're like, oh no, fucking they did the wrong part of the campaign first, and now I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. Fucking make your evil knight who was like a CR8 knight. Oh, now he's a death knight somehow, or he's using a death knight stat block. I don't really care. Your players are there to have fun. If they get mad about that somehow, they aren't really there to play D&D, I think.
And even Batter Dude gave him a ring, and now he has an action outside of his regular action to use. Or when you kill him, fucking okay. This is just like me. This is like a great version comes out.
Great example of this actually comes from Critical Role in the early days, in that when they, spoiler for like really early Critical Role, like the Orion era, which no one goes back to. When they fought the fucking Beholder, that was like the first major antagonist of the stream, they fucking dunked it so hard that it did barely anything. So Matt did fucking D&D GM, I want this fight to keep going 101, where I got the influence of a fucking demon god, just made it get back up and revived it, and round 2 began. Because as a GM, if something doesn't feel good, you can be like, oh man, a fucking beam from the hells opens up over their dead body and they sprout evil wings and you hear, rise, you're not done. And then you got another phase of your fight. And anyone who complains about that, go away.
That's fun.
Everyone who complains about that, go play Adventure League games exclusively, because like that's fun. Like
being able to take out something quick is fun as a player. Being able to fucking fight a really epic fight, also fun as a player.
Yep. the my god decided that I have a round 2 fucking move is the best GM move to make a fight last longer. Do I have new features? No. I just got back up and have full health again, and oh, look at that. I have an extra attack on my turn, because you guys fucking economy to goddamn death. Yeah. Fucking. And I'm resistant to non-magical damage. Take that. I don't know how it happened, but that's what it is. Got tough skin, thick skin,
probably the weird god necromancy.
Yep. But
the Idomantic necromancy.
Necromancy. Necroidomancy.
Necroidomancy.
Necroidomancy kind of sounds kind of hard though.
What happened to him? Well, thanks to the necroidomancy, he's also like pushing out amnesis now. Fuck!
He came back from the dead, but like extra special.
God damn it.
He's just an elite from like an old like looter like game where like he just has an extra thing on him, like a little laser insert.
Idomancy is all about like changing the reality with your imagination and like shaping it to your will. So just imagine it being used for something that mundane is so like, I have been revived! The Idomancy has returned me to life! It's exactly the same but cooler somehow! I have one wing! That's wild!
Also, because I'm a beholder, one of my eyes now shoots gas. It's a gas eye now.
Oh, it feels bad. It feels bad. I don't like doing it. It feels bad.
Use the damn gas eye. Just echoing around. Use the damn gas eye. No. I will.
It's not doing that much, and it's really stings a little.
It hurts.
Is my esophagus connected to my eye now? Oh, this is terrible.
Oh, this is bad design.
Again. Oh. But I digress.
That is, and has been, all the time we have for today.
So, my beautiful babies, why don't you go ahead and promote yourselves? We'll start with Logan. Go ahead and promote your fine self.
I do the stuff where we are, and I'm a voice actor, and I write the books, and the books are out. Go on to drive-through. Lyra's Guide to Aretia and Lyra's Guide to Risk and Reward. Big books, been getting good reviews. Go buy them, give us money. I also do and maintain the stuff on the channel, and I'm also here, and it's good. What's up? How are you?
Good answer.
Thanks. Oh, love claps. Applause.
Woo.
Yeah, go find them on the Blue Skies and the Tweeters.
Yep.
And the gear.
Logan Laidlaw on Blue Sky, Logan Laidlaw on Twitter. The channel you're on YouTube.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly that.
Yep.
So what about you, Cody?
Cody Hughett, Summoners Network on Twitter, Summoners Network on Blue Sky, Summoners Network on Twitch. Actually, I think it's Summoner Blue on Twitter and Blue Sky. Anyway, look for one of them.
Twitter, yeah.
Look for one of them.
You'll find it.
I do role plays as well. I do some fun stuff. Oh, actually, again, something to actually tell people. Next week, I'm gonna be doing a fantasy world campaign that is set in my own unique world on Wednesday. 7 EST or 6 or 7 EST, I can't remember which one. And it's gonna be super fun. It's called the Curse of the Quiet March. I hope that everyone will have a good time, and if I do get a good response to it, then maybe I'll do more unique stuff in the future. I don't know.
Nice.
Or it's back to fucking Mega Man for me forever.
Forever. Never. Nah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see all your new stuff.
If I'm allowed, I'll probably throw a link to it on different things. So we'll see.
Yeah, go for it. Heckin'. I suppose if you want to see more of my weird self, you can find me over on Twitter, as well as Instagram and Blue Sky at Haybale Voice. You can also find me at Scylla Aria. That's SYLLAARIA. I'm a little fairy VTuber who makes the click clacks and rolls the click clacks and plays some video games. You can find me over there. If you see any of my edited TikToks or clips or VODs or any of that, that is all edited by the wonderful Eric here at Nat19. He's amazing, and I will always give him a shout out every episode because honestly, he's the backbone of that.
Oh yeah, go back in time because today's Wednesday in the thing. Go back in time to yesterday and watch me and Eric play games because Eric is
use the swamp.
I was about to say
use the time traveling swamp.
Use the time travel swamp. Jump in the liquid of the swamp. Don't worry about it. You probably won't get an infection. Go watch Cool Kids.
Just watch out.
Shrek.
Other people are using that swamp.
Shrek in the time traveling swamp be like, what will you all be doing in my swamp?
Hold on, Shrek. I'm just here to make a kid. Apparently.
Apparently.
Oh, God.
I'm just here to go back in time and make Lori.
If you want more Nat19, because why wouldn't you? Especially after this episode. You can tune in on Tuesdays and Wednesdays for gaming streams with the cast. Tuesdays are the Cool Kids with Cody, Eric, and Maddie. Wednesdays alternating with Wits and Crits is Chaos Crew, which is myself and Braden Alexander. Thursdays for Princes of the Apocalypse, and Gilligan's Grave runs on Saturdays. If you guys are interested in our merchandise or you just want to know more about our team, you can visit our website at nat19show.com. That is nat19show.com. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye,
Yeah.
buddies!
Bye.